My name is Darren Montgomery and I'm with MyRealtyOK. MyRealtyOK is designed a little bit different than most brokerages. And the reason for that is you're bringing your business directly to me, the broker. Now, we have three different packages. Let me tell you what the norm is, and that's not every single brokerage. I can't say that's every single brokerage, but the norm for every brokerage is about 5 to 6% of the selling price. Man, it doesn't seem like it's that much. I mean, good night. We pay more than that in taxes, and for $1 taxes, that's $1.10 normally. Let's just say. But when it gets to 100,000, that means $5,000 to $6,000, and when it gets to 200,000, that means $10,000 to $12,000, and when it gets to 300,000, that is $15,000 to $18,000. And then I've noticed a lot of organizations or brokerages that are charging doc fees. I saw one the other day that passed my desk. It was $500 doc fee. I'm going to tell you, I can help you list your property in two of my three plans, of the bronze and the silver, not the gold. It's actually less than their doc fee. Why am I doing this? First of all, I see that there's going to be a very big need for this in the future, depending on the economy. And I want to help as many people as possible. And I feel like I can do the volume. I really think I can do the volume. So I just want to help people. And that's my goal. Now, today we're going to go over the selling timeline. And the reason we're going to go over the selling timeline is I don't want to keep you in the dark. I don't want to keep my customers in the dark. I want them to know where they're at, what they're doing, and be able to follow a plan. And this is the plan to get it sold. Now, I'm going to tell you, sometimes there's got to be deviations from plans. I know this. This is my general plan, and this is going to be what helped you. Today, we're going to talk about getting your property prepared. But the first step isn't even on here, and it's because I need to get you emotionally prepared. You see, a lot of people, they are stuck on this is my home. Now, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. I helped a couple a few years ago. I think it's like 3 years, maybe 4 years now. And they were wanting to sell their home. The problem is they had that home for 25 years. And every time you tried to separate them from their home, they kept hanging on to it. Instead of really wanting to sell it, they wanted to hang on to the home. I didn't understand it. And first of all, they set the price too high. We're going to talk about pricing after this video, but they set the price too high. Then they decided, okay, you're right. We're going to put the price down. So they put the price down. They sold the property. Then they decided, we really don't want to sell. We just want to hang on to this. This is our home. We're going to stay there. It cost them a fortune to get out of that. It cost them a lot of money. And we kept from having it to be a lawsuit. But I'm going to tell you, there was a lot of money that was exchanged hands to the buyer because they were going to break the contract. So I need you to emotionally separate yourself from home and make it now a property or house. I want you to make great decisions. And when there's emotions involved in decisions, that's when mistakes happen. That's when irrational thoughts happen. So it's from now on, this is a house or this is a property for you. You're going to hear me talk a lot about property because that's my normal vernacular. The first step in getting your property prepared is repairs. Now, I'm going to kind of couple this with a couple things here, but I want you to go out and I want you to maybe the sidewalk, close to the street, whatever. Look at the front of your property. Do the shrubs look like perhaps the jungle? So do they need to be cut back? Another thought that you might want to look at is there weeds in the beds? You don't want that. Perhaps there is a dead shrub. I'm going to tell you, whenever I see a dead shrub, I see a dead house. And potential buyers always see that too. Very few buyers actually say, "Oh, I just want to replace that with a such and such." It's just rare. Now they may want to change the beds or something like that, but they don't like to deal with a dead shrub for some reason. What repairs need to be done? Is there bare wood? Is there wood, in other words, that need to be painted? Is there wood that's rotted? Are there shingles missing from the top? What needs to be done to make that look beautiful? A few years ago, I put a property up. I listed a property, and I went to the property a couple hours afterwards just to see if what happens if people drive by. There were several people that drove by very slowly. I can tell you, if they like the property from the front, they're calling their real estate agent, realtor associate, broker, whatever. And they're saying, "Hey, I'd like to look at that house on XYZ in Lane." And so they set up an appointment. My deal is that what I'm trying to really convey is make the curb value of the property look really good and do all the repairs that need to be done. Now go around to the other three sides of the house. It doesn't have to be as perfect, but look at any repairs that need to be done. The next step that I would do would be go inside and look at what needs to be repaired inside. Now, I'm going to try to save you a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of heartache right now. Most buyers will have a home inspection. There's going to be a home inspection. And that home inspector will come in and they'll pick everything apart. They will not tear down the walls, thank God, but they will pick everything apart. Anything that's major that you have fixed prior to that home inspector to come in, it saves you a heartache. The deal could fall through. It saves you money normally, and it makes things smooth through the whole process of selling your property. So go ahead and get the repairs done. What is a home inspector going to do? I could just go on all day what all they do. But I'm going to tell you, they're going to check every single electrical outlet. They're going to check to make sure that the lights turn on and turn off whenever you turn the switches on. They're going to look at the garbage disposal. They're going to run water and they're going to run water and they're going to run water, trying to get to see if there's going to be a leak underneath any of the sinks. They're going to check the heater. They're going to check the air conditioner. They're going to check drainage. They're going to check almost everything in that property. And so that's one of the reasons you want to save yourself some heartache and go ahead and get it done. And it's going to save you money because you're not in a rush to get it done. The next thing that I need you to do after the repairs is you want to declutter and clean. Now we're going to take on clean real quick. No one wants to live in somebody else's dirt. So you need to look at everything in the property. Now, if cleaning is not your forte, get it done. Have somebody come in and do it if you can afford it. If not, if you can't afford it, that's fine. You need to be the one that does it. But clean the baseboards, clean that oven. Almost everybody, it seems like, pulls open the oven when they're looking at a property that they're interested in. It's amazing to me. I know they're interested in a property when they open up an oven. It's amazing watching people. Usually I can tell if a person's interested within 5 or 6 seconds of opening the door. Anyway, clean those things that need to be cleaned. And this kind of goes with repairs, but it also looks not clean at the same time because it looks shoddy. If you have a light fixture that has 4 or 5 bulbs and you have one burning in it, replace the bulbs. It looks like you do nothing for your property. It looks like trash, and it brings down the value of the property. And then you're less likely to be able to get an offer on it. So go ahead and replace those. Dust whatever needs to be dusted, clean whatever needs to be cleaned. Make sure it's really ready. Now, declutter and depersonalization, I'm going to put those together real quick. I can't tell you how many times I've walked through a property and you're going down a hall, and on both sides you have pictures. And I'm kind of a big guy, normally a little bit bigger than I am now, but I had knee replacement surgery. And so I've lost a little bit of that. Anyway, you feel claustrophobic in that hall. First of all, you want to remove those things because more than likely they're personal pictures of your family and what have you. You want the buyer to look at walls and say, oh, that would be a perfect picture for mom and dad. That would be a great picture for the family portrait right there. And you want them to start saying home in their head, but they can't see past your personal pictures. In the declutter part, that claustrophobic feeling, it's if it's throughout the house especially, it's a problem. Sometimes you have to remove furniture. You have to clean bookshelves to where they don't look so crowded. Another thing with the decluttering that I've noticed is you can have a really good size master closet, but if the buyer comes in and they see stuff like, you know how when you've got too much in your closet and you're hanging something up and it's halfway sticking out because you didn't jam it all the way in, if they see stuff like that, if they see just everything real tight in there, they personally think, I don't think we can get our clothes in there. So you may want to get a rental unit. You may want to have a family member keep your clothes, but take out the out of season clothes and make sure that when a potential buyer walks in, that they see something that they can put their clothes in. It doesn't have to be empty. It just needs to be nice and neat and roomy. So the last thing I'm going to talk about on this is the staging. I'm going to tell a story because I tell stories that get things across. This is how staging usually is higher end houses. I had this brand new property. I sold for about $700,000 a few years ago. And it was modern, very modern. In fact, it was so modern that it felt a little bit cold. It didn't make potential buyers come in and say, oh, this is this place where I can just relax and be me. I don't have to do anything that I have done through the day. I can just be. So we had a stager come in and they staged they don't stage the whole house. They staged the master bedroom and they staged the living room. And I believe that was it. Oh, maybe the entrance hallway. And I would take buyers behind the sink and I'd say, look at the picture that you could see every single day. And when you looked across there, you saw this beautiful, it was a blue couch, but it just made the room perfect. And there's a table with a little something sticking out of like a vase type thing. Just very nonchalant, but just perfect for the house. And then past that, you saw the big stone fireplace that went up real high toward the ceiling. I think it almost went to the ceiling. And what you saw was this is something you should see in a magazine. So sometimes staging is the right thing to do. Now I'm going to tell you, I'm not this is something that you would have to have hired to do. I'm not a stager. I can tell you, a person that really has that ability can take like a coffee cup, take a stick and put it in there, and everybody walks by and goes, "Oh my gosh, look how beautiful that is." If I did the same thing, people walk by and say, "Oh my gosh, I need to clean that up." I'm just telling you, a real good stager has that capability. It's the same thing with a real estate professional. You have professionals and you don't have professionals. I'm kind of the person that if you're like buying through me, I don't want to sell you on a house. I want you to love that house. I want you to say, this is where I want to be. So, Stagers are a little bit different. I don't have that capability, and you would want to hire somebody to do that. That's only in really high end homes. That is very high end homes. I really want to thank you for joining me. I hope you go to the next one, which is pricing your property. Pricing your property is so important. And I see this is probably one of the largest mistakes that I see a lot of for sale by owners and a lot of sellers do. And I have fallen into that trap before, where I listed something way too high because that's what the seller wanted to do, and it's just bad. Let me go into that next video. Do me a favor. You have a great rest of the day. For me, thank you.